Before we dive into the latest twist in the world of Superman, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button to stay up to date with the latest movie news and reviews.
No! What? What? What?
As a seasoned movie buff, I've witnessed the rise and fall of many superhero franchises, and I must say that the latest twist in Superman and Lois has left me both impressed and amused. Um, the parallels drawn with the infamous Man of Steel are not just interesting, they're a testament to the evolving narrative style in superhero stories. The current season of Superman and Lois has brought us two significant moments. Reminiscent of Man of Steel, which premiered 11 years ago, remarkably, the storyline in Superman and Lois shares many similarities with Henry Cavill's Superman from the DCEU movie timeline. Elements like the introduction of Doomsday and the adaptation of the DC Comics Death of Superman plot have created a connection between the two. However, by the end of season 4, Superman and Lois has established itself as a unique, captivating, and emotional tale that stands on its own merits. The climax centered around, Superman, Lois Lane, and their family as they confronted Lex Luthor and Doomsday one last time. This storyline provided a fitting farewell for the diverse cast of Superman and Lois, offering both a captivating standalone tale and several hidden references to DC Comics. Easter eggs, the creators of Superman and Lois chose to echo Henry Cavill's first movie from 2013, allowing for two significant scenes from Man of Steel to be replicated before Superman and Lois concluded. One of these scenes is the infamous Doomsday's fate, which has been referenced in two DCEU scenes in the final episode of Superman and Lois Season 4, a sequence that echoed two key moments from Man of Steel unfolded. Doomsday's ultimate sacrifice, after a season filled with confrontations and struggles, Superman and Doomsday engaged in their final battle within the show. Eventually, Superman managed to subdue Doomsday and hurled him towards the sun, aiming to eliminate the villain permanently. However, as Doomsday approached the sun, his original form, a character resembling Bizarro Superman from Superman and Lois, was revived, recalling his past life before being transformed into Lex Luthor's weapon. Once restored, Doomsday slash Bizarro pacified Superman and subsequently sacrificed himself by plunging into the sun. In essence, both instances where Superman forces a DC Comics villain toward a fatal outcome, pushing Doomsday into the sun in Superman and Lois, and killing General Zod in Man of Steel share similarities as they depict the hero taking lethal action against one of his foes. Upon closer examination, a poignant parallel to Jonathan Kent's sacrifice in Man of Steel emerges when Superman, about to deliver a decisive blow to Doomsday in Superman and Lois, and documents point at entire scale and research of Portrait and Miss Incoming and More of Us. It was considered populating the villain fellow in which effects of red, but and in contrast to Superman's confrontation with Zod in Man of Steel, the scene where Superman defeats Doomsday in Superman and Lois carries a greater emotional impact. This is largely due to Doomsday voluntarily sacrificing himself, which significantly adds to the intensity of the moment. Although Superman ultimately pushes Doomsday into the sun, it's Doomsday's choice that leads to this outcome. Similarly, Bizarro remembering his past and opting to sacrifice himself instead of continuing as Lex Luthor's monster creation is a powerful character development that amplifies the emotional resonance of the scene. And in contrast to the debatable scene in Man of Steel where Superman took Zod's life to save a family, the scenario in Superman and Lois portrayed a different perspective. Instead of initiating the act of violence himself, Superman permitted Doomsday Bizarro to make the choice to sacrifice itself. This representation showcases Superman's honor as Clark acknowledges Bizarro's decision and recognizes it as being in both Bizarro's best interest and for the good of Earth. And to elaborate, the self-sacrificing acts of Doomsday in Superman and Lois and Jonathan Kent in Man of Steel offer a fascinating contrast. Both characters made sacrifices that appeared to serve the greater good, but their methods were distinctively different. They really have, in fact, Doomsday chose to give up his life to save Earth, yet he did so on his own terms rather than as Lex Luthor had altered him. Conversely, Jonathan Kent willingly gave up his life to shield Clark's powers from the people of Earth. The criticism of Jonathan's sacrifice in Man of Steel is that the chaotic tornado situation could have allowed Clark to save his father with minimal risk. However, it's clear that this scene fits well within the narrative of Man of Steel. Compared to Doomsday's sacrifice, if he hadn't sacrificed himself, he would likely have continued causing harm in Lex's name. The parallels drawn between these moments in Superman and Lois offer intriguing contrast to two significant scenes from Man of Steel, which are noticeable even a decade later. And on that note, I'll leave you with a joke. Why did Doomsday go to therapy? Because I had a lot of killing issues. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm Eric.